Hey everyone, thanks for checking out episode 3 of the Enkindled Columbus podcast with Cream Camino. That was The Creamy Theme by Cream Camino. If you like what you hear and want to support the local scene, give us a follow on Instagram at Enkindled Columbus or on Facebook at Enkindled Columbus. We also want to give a special thank you to Craft and Vinyl for becoming the new home of the Enkindled Columbus podcast and acoustic sessions that we'll be hosting. Anyways, here's the podcast.
All right, this is Alonzo.
And I'm Zach.
And we're here today with Jeff, John, Jared of the band Cream Camino. What's up, guys?
Hello.
How we doing? We living the dream?
I live in the dream.
Oh, yeah. And so I know today we got this all set up because we're talking and getting ready for June 22nd EP release. Let me see the name real quick. What is it? Closer to the Bridge?
Bridges.
Bridges.
Yes.
Closer to the Bridges. Mm-hmm. EP. How many songs are we going to be seeing?
5.
Seeing 5?
Okay. Yes.
Yep.
And how long has it been since you guys recorded your first album?
We recorded that maybe two years ago. I think it was done. 2 years ago, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
And then we released it a year later.
Okay.
So now on this new one coming out, are we going to expect the same kind of sound, or are you guys switching it up a little bit? What's the goal here?
I think to its root, we always have a particular sound. It's just the genres that we like to intertwine in our music.
Okay, yeah, I was going to notice, something I noticed was that you guys have like a really bluesy sound in a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. That was something I wanted to talk about.
So, I think with Jeff and I mean, we've always had a very punk background because that's our first band together was a punk band. So we do have some roots of punk in our music, but like having Jared in our band adds a total different element to
I'm a big Pink Floyd psychedelia fan. So.
Dude, I'm so with you on that.
Yeah.
If we can push it and get a little weird with it, I'm always...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm totally with you on that. Pink Floyd is like one of my favorite bands.
And that's also a great way to define your sound, too. To sound different from, anybody else out there. If you're playing punk, how do you sound different? And that's a great element.
Most
that's the
definitely.
thing, too. I do think you do want to sound different as albums progress and things go on.
Yeah, for sure. It's like growth as artists.
Right.
And anytime you add another member to any band, things are going to change.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no doubt.
You get their background, their influence.
Yeah,
That's a whole other mind for the creative process.
Yep.
And honestly, that album was mainly derived by your acoustic songs.
Yeah, basically 100%.
Acoustic
Wow,
songs.
so that all came from just some acoustic songs you had?
And then he was like, dude, I would love to make an album with you. Let's just do it. Let's make an album. And I'm like, dude, totally down. So we went into the studio, took a 10-hour block.
Yeah.
And I wrote the parts as we went. So
Wow, dude, that's crazy. 'Cause
Was
that
that-
album sounds like it's so well put together.
Was
Like, I
that
just listened-
studio in Columbus, or where'd you guys
Newark.
record at?
It was
Newark.
Vero Studios.
Okay.
Logan Williams.
Nice,
Great gentleman he is.
So something I want to talk about. How did you guys get together, and how did you guys become a band? How did that happen?
Well, John and I, we like he said, we played in a punk band when we were I think we started playing before either one of us could drive.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Yeah.
And we
Most
played
definitely.
together for many years, and then life took us in different directions, and eventually we found our way back and started making songs again, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And
Just the two.
I was just thinking that.
Yes.
and that was a good time. But after we recorded that album, we knew there was no way we could even remotely replicate what we had done live with just the two of us.
Well, and I was tattooing Jeff through a majority of the recording that album, so I got to hear all the dope songs.
Absolutely.
They're like, oh shit!
He got to hear all the demo and critter versions that,
Yeah.
as they came out, different mixes and masters.
If you're trying to play that out live or something, I mean, just
Yeah.
you know.
Brother up. Jeff hit me up one day and he was like, dude, what do you think we do this? I know a dude. You know Jared, he tattoos me. He plays bass. I'm like, let's try it out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm a big proponent on it has to work. Chemistry is.
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's huge,
It has
because
to
you
work.
can't-
You have to like the people in your band, too.
Most definitely.
You have to be able to
Yep.
hang out with them, have a beer with them.
It's family.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's family, dude.
Yep.
So
Well, and that first jam session, at least on my behalf, was fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty
I think
fucking dope.
we all knew instantly this is what we should have been doing the whole time.
the whole time, most definitely.
And that's great to hear, with that. So, I'm sure now since you guys have that chemistry, is that making it easy to write these new songs?
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, I mean, some of these songs that are on the upcoming new EP, it's 2 of the songs were from our Six Blink Stare days, like that never got out. So
okay, wow.
So
that's cool. You've been sitting on it that long.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, just having Jared, it brings, like I said, a whole new element to it. I mean, it's just a whole new feel, So, I mean,
Shucks, you guys.
Yeah.
Shucks, you guys.
You know what I think is super awesome is like, so when we first met you guys at that show a while back, what it was
a Broken Relics EP.
EP.
Yep.
When after that night, I remember like that next week, like going through, listening to the album, and when I looked you guys up on YouTube, I love that you guys have like, I mean, you've recorded so much. You have videos everywhere.
Right.
I think that's super cool, especially with like you're able to continuously do just something. It always, from what it looks like, it seems like you guys are doing something all the time.
So, I mean, that's. I mean, I feel like if you want to have people engaged, you have to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and as far as discovery goes, too, I mean, that's just more ways for you guys to be discovered.
Right.
I mean,
Most
that's
definitely.
huge.
Well, then we're all creative people anyhow. So
Yeah.
like, sitting around
Right.
like, oh, make some art stuff or do some like video Cream Camino shit. Like,
Yeah.
Now, so while we're on it, where did the name Cream Camino come from? How did that become a thing?
We were just talking. John and I were just talking.
Smoking some cigarettes.
We were trying to figure out what we should call ourselves in front of or out back from my old apartment, and all of a sudden a cream-colored El Camino drove down the road in front of us, and an alliteration was born.
Yes. And there's Cream
And ever
Camino.
since then,
That's
just,
awesome. So what about the album art for the first album that you
It's like
guys
a praying
have? How did that come
mantis
together?
on a body of a woman.
You did.
Oh yeah. The mantis lady. That was part of my tattoo life. I just wanted I wanted a mantis pinup lady.
Yeah.
And I had the guy who used to draw stuff. He used to draw comics and things for Midgard Comics. His name's Nate Lovett, and he
Okay.
still does artwork all over the place. He's actually doing a lot of stuff according to his Facebook page. He's got all kinds of things in the works. He's even done some stuff for Marvel and had them inked by some pretty serious people.
Dude, that's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Yeah,
That's really awesome.
I think he drew 2 of my tattoos.
Yeah.
And then since we've kind of gravitated toward the sci-fi theme in Cream Camino artwork in general.
Yeah.
That was just an obvious option.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially if you know somebody, you're like, this guy's talented. He'd definitely be the guy to do it.
Yeah, for sure. But now, I mean, currently, we got Sir Jared over here. I mean, he's the artiste for us.
yeah, I did the new one. That was my first attempt at drawing something on an iPad, not with pens and pencils.
Oh, yeah, so that's
you
probably
know.
way different.
It was
especially like getting
way
used to
different
it.
and weird, but
Yep. It's pretty sweet. Pretty excited for it. So, but yeah.
I guess that bring up to the artwork for the EP. What was the thinking behind it? Did you base it off every song, like all the songs you guys did? Was
what
that
we
thinking?
when we kind of decided on the Closer to the Bridges, that was like, okay, and we'd already come up with the vagina tentacle brain monster
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But that was a final addition to the cover, that it just needed a little something, just that little guy looming out in the back. So I actually I took the bridge that
So we're giving you spoilers right now because you don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, I was going to say.
but it's actually the bridge that collapsed from after the the Mothman visits
Okay.
back in the 60s. So it's the
Yeah.
old silver
okay.
bridge that I modeled the new album design off of.
So
Okay,
dope.
that's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
So dope.
Yeah, it is. I'm
So what do you
excited.
guys do like outside of music? We'll just kind of go down the line here. Start with, what do you like to do?
I work at Arby's.
Okay.
I do maintenance for an apartment complex, and
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah, probably keeps you pretty busy.
Along with the Arby's.
Yeah, and balancing the second job.
Slinging all that beef, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
People want the beef and cheddar. We got to give it to them.
The meat monsters.
Yeah.
The meat.
We throw our EP in the sandwiches. So
Just a sticker.
be a lot of pissed off people. The lawsuit.
Oh man, God bless it. What do I do? I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I build stuff, really anything.
He can also sling beef.
I can sling some beef.
I've seen him.
Badass.
I've been known to, when I'm building things, it's Gunder construction, not under construction.
He's got it.
Gunder construction.
It's Gunder control.
Yes. It's Gunder control for sure.
Don't even worry about it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a family man through and through, dude. I mean, I that's why I say, jamming in this band, it's a family. I mean, everything to me, even friends that I, come across, new friends, old friends. I mean, it's family. I treat you as family. And, I mean, aside from being a family man, I mean, this band this is my life too, It's,
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And same, I do the family thing too. I got 2 kids, little Marley and Ivy. That's why I didn't know we were doing pictures and stuff. That's why I'm Father's Day.
Oh, yeah,
Super
Super
Dad.
Dad.
I got my Bob's Burgers dad hat on today. So I'm rocking
That's my
pretty
favorite show
hard.
ever.
Yes,
We can have a whole podcast about that.
I am, and I would love to be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I tattoo and I pierce in Westerville, a place called Attitude. So
Okay, that's
that's-
awesome.
yeah, that's badass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Might need your help soon. My septum closed up. I took it out for about I had it for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I took it out for 2 days or something like that.
I know,
And I went to
right?
put it back in, and I'm like, oh no, dude, it's fully closed up.
Yeah.
I know. I did mine myself, and that's yeah.
Yeah.
But I would do it again. I like it enough that
no
if
way.
it closed, I would do it again.
Yeah, that's how I am about it. It was something I didn't
awful
like.
as
I
it
never
was.
planned on getting it. And it was just one of those like impulse. My girlfriend wanted to get this done on the outside.
Yep.
And she was like, you should do it too. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. I was like, but I will do my septum so I
gotta
can at least
top her a
roll it up
little
if I
bit.
need
Yeah.
to. And once I did it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm actually liking this a little
I
bit.
can,
I'm
see,
messing
I
with
can
this.
see you rocking the septum there.
Yes.
So I guess to kind of get back on track, but off the septum.
We did deviate.
Yeah. Where? Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Thanks for having me, guys.
John, break out the drums. We need it.
I'll be here till right now.
So when it comes to the songwriting process with you guys, I know some people like, hey, our singer writes everything and we just add stuff in the studio. How is the songwriting going? What do you guys do to from start to finish? Jeff, are you putting lyrics in? Are you guys writing the rhythm part after the lyrics, or how's that working for you guys?
I usually lock myself in a dark closet.
And Arby's.
Yeah, and I sweat and I cry until I have a song,
Okay.
and then if I like it, I'll show it to them.
Yes.
Now, is that with are you structuring chords while you do, or you just write lyrics first and then how the hell is this
A
gonna
lot
fit?
of times I feel like like a melody or something will come to me during the day when I'm changing a disposal
Yeah.
Right.
or putting Teflon tape on some threaded plumbing. And then if I dig it, and it like a lot of times the ones that turn into songs usually stick with me throughout the day.
Yeah.
And when I get home, I'll learn how to play it.
Okay, that's how I used to do that same thing. I'd be at work and I just start humming something, and I'm like, dude, I cannot forget that. Or I go hide somewhere real quick and pull up my app. It's like-
Yeah, you save it on the phone.
Well, it's kind of
Yep.
amazing how that happens and stuff. Like you see all these famous riffs and stuff that's within seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a Sweet Child of Mine happened in a cabin or some shit like that. And now Slash hates the riff.
You're right.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
Slash hates everything.
Yeah, he's not. Who is he? Who is
Right.
Slash? Yeah.
Did you ever see the video of Michael Jackson and Slash won't get off stage?
No, what?
Oh my God!
What do they
Slash
do?
will not stop playing, and Michael's like, "Hey, and he dances over it. Oh, dude, amazing!
Love you, Jacob Mooney.
Oh.
There you go.
And he's speaking of Michael Jackson, and this reminds me of Mr. Jacob Mooney.
Takes you back.
Yep. Yep.
So what are your guys' influences as individual? What made you want to get into music? That you can think of?
Start with you, dude.
Oh, man. Well, as a child, I listened to a lot of Beach Boys and a lot of Christian music, a lot of old church hymns, a lot of new church hymns, and some contemporary Christian rock.
Yeah.
And that kind of left me feeling a little flaccid, but I appreciated the catchiness of it all
Yeah.
and the structure. But I think that's really where it started, and I've always been interested in making music. So I think just when I finally got to the point where I was listening to stuff that I chose to
Yeah.
listen to, then like instantly I just wanted to emulate it. And I think that's why we do have such a mixture of genres
Yeah.
in between our songs, because everything I heard once I was like, this is music now?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
You're like, okay, I like this. So
let's fuck with it.
When did you pick up your first guitar? Like, how old would you say you were?
I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
I tried to get into the work program so that I could just go to school for half a day.
Yeah.
And my school said no, and they gave me a bunch of electives, and one of them was a guitar class.
Okay.
And I was a little bit, to be honest, I was a little bit pissed off. Like I didn't want to
Yeah.
learn guitar. I
Yeah.
thought that was stupid. I wanted to make some money and only go to school for half a day. And then the next thing I knew, it was the most important thing I ever learned in school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's why I love asking these questions, just to hear like that kind of stuff. Like, I never wanted to play guitar. I got stuck doing it, and then I fell in love
My
with it.
damn parents bought me a guitar, wanted an Xbox.
Yeah, my brother actually asked to play the guitar and then kind of stopped practicing and didn't really follow through with it. So I was just kind of like, well, if he didn't like it, I'm
Yeah.
not going to like it. But as soon as I had one in my hands, I was like, oh shit, was I born to do this?
Just change the game entirely.
Yes.
So how about you, man? What are your what got you into it? What are your influences?
I'd have to say, I mean, what's obvious, it's pretty fitting being here is vinyls. My mom had a vinyl collection, and I remember her just always playing vinyls all the time, and I just always had a knack or love of just music when I was a kid, just dancing, feeling the beat and rhythm, and I think it was when I was maybe 6 or 7, my parents, gave me an option of playing an instrument. So I think my choices were trumpet, snare drum, and I want to say violin. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I almost chose the trumpet. Let's be real.
Man, this thing could have been way different.
Dude,
I almost-
if you'd pick trumpet and drums, Cream
shit.
Camino would be a totally different
Oh,
band
shit,
right now.
boys. But yeah, I mean, I chose the snare drum,
Yeah.
and my dad was like, "If you want to play the snare drum, you have to take lessons, and if you want a drum set, you have to take lessons." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
So you kind of had to go down the
didn't want to
lessons
do it.
route.
Well, I guess fortunately or unfortunately, who knows? I took snare drum lessons for 6 months, and the guy bounced town, and after that, I just taught myself.
Yeah.
So, rudiments to me, I was 6 years old when I was taught them. I don't
Oh,
remember
really?
them. So,
Yeah.
paradiddles, yeah, sure. I know what those are. But do I think about it?
No.
Sure don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess really I have my mom to attribute to a lot of my, love for music. I mean, Zeppelin, the first vinyl I can honestly remember loving was Zeppelin's Presence. Like, Achilles' Last Stand was the groove. Like, dude, that song will for always be in my heart, dude. I
Okay,
love
yeah,
that
it's like
song.
that. That's like that song
That
that
groove just will always stay with me. So I mean, like, yeah, Zeppelin, Bonham. I mean, that's why I do what I do. Mm-hmm. And
for sure. Oh yeah, I mean, you have like the most energy of like any drummer I've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
seen. Like the
I
whole time I
appreciate
was
it.
watching, I'm like, oh my god, this dude's like all over the place in the coolest way.
I mean, it's. I guess the only way I can throw at it is. Thank you so much. It's. I mean, I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it's feel, but to me, it's just like I'm in a whole different. I guess.
Yeah, you're just like
I'm
in
a
your
whole
own
different
little,
entity.
like in
I
your own
mean,
little
yeah.
world while you're doing your thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's impressive what you do. So
Hell yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really
big
do.
props to that.
Hell yeah.
I said mine's probably kind of corny. When I was a little kid, I listened to a lot of Bobby McFerrin and MC Hammer tapes. And I remember sitting, I was
Hell
probably,
yeah, Sugar Hill Gang.
I was probably maybe
Corny?
10 in my
corny about
mom's
that.
car in her little white Cadillac, and I pulled out the cassette tape to Nirvana Nevermind, and I see the
Oh,
little
yeah.
naked baby, and I read the track listings. I'm like, territorial pissings? You
Yeah,
got
like, what is this?
Piss in a song title? Like, yeah, let me hear that. And of course, that song is absolute carnage. So from then
yeah.
on out,
So
it
just-
was
You're like, okay, this is the way to go.
it was on. So Kurt Cobain was my hero from the get-go as a young kid. So
Yeah.
I started playing guitar, learned some power chords, and once you learn one power chord, you can play everything Kurt ever
Oh
wrote.
yeah,
So
yeah.
just-
You can play any. That's exactly how it was for me too. Picking
Yep.
up my first guitar, like as soon as once you learn one of them, it's like, okay, well, this isn't
yeah,
too
all
bad.
right, well, let's learn the entirety of Nevermind
Yeah.
today. Cool. Awesome. And then, I ended up getting a bass. I was playing in a band with my buddy Nick Schwartz ages ago, and most bands, nobody had a bass, nobody wanted to play bass. So I mean, that's why I started playing bass. Is
More bass.
but also, try to make it somewhat interesting, that you would want to listen to it maybe instead of just kind of playing the low notes. So I wanted in, but I also wanted to make it interesting, wanted to be heard at least a little bit,
Dude,
for sure.
Keep that mystery there, but also.
Yeah, no, bass is one of those instruments that you can either be really boring with it and just kind of cover the basics, or like you said, you can be like, you got
That's
some
what I'm
fun
saying. And
with
if
it.
you fuck it up, ain't nobody listening to you anyhow.
No,
It's
exactly.
not a big deal.
I don't know. The bass.
On the contrary, dude.
The bass brings together everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like...
What's the bass player from Zeppelin? John Paul Jones.
Oh,
correct?
John Paul Jones, man. He's
talk about a man that can literally draw a song together. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to put much theatrics in his play to really throw it across to you. Like
He's just hitting those root notes, and it's what's adding
sick.
everything together. It's amazing.
Here's the acoustic session we recorded, presented by Craft and Vinyl.
We're Cream Camino. The song's called Too Late. Goes, we're counting down all the foreheads painted black and red. Ask the scarecrows, cause they're wondering who will be the next to go. You leave me lying around as dead birds litter the ground. Tree stumps, breathing, bleeding, holds a child, screams her last at night. Where the flames stop, ice cold raindrops burn her eyes. Your words are echoing here as blood pours from my ears, and all the angels black their coats again. While the stars burn out and suck us in. Bow down, confess your fears to him. It's too late to save yourselves or them. The black sun burning everyone. Hold up your head and watch it torch the ground. Is it scary being buried with dirt and worms and things to call your home and keep on tying me down? As dead birds are flying off the ground, and all the angels black their coats again. Us in. Bow down, confess your fears to him. It's too late to save yourselves or them. While the stars burn out and probably suck us in. Bow down, confess your fears to him. It's too late to save yourselves or them, and all the angels black their coats again.
while the stars burn out and probably suck us in. Bow down, confess your fears to him. It's too late to save yourselves or them.
We hope you enjoyed the song. Now back to the podcast.
It's
So I think, this brings up the next question of hearing people, talking about Zeppelin and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, like these amazing guys. This is going to sound weird. Why do you do what you do? What drives you from taking time out of your day, time you'll never get back? What goes on through your mind to drive you to do what you do?
Same reason we do anything else. That shit just feels really good, dude.
yeah. I mean, it's
the cheapest therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
For the
Not when it
cost.
comes to gear, man.
For the
No,
cost of
Oh, dude,
gear is no joke.
Sweetwater has ruined my life.
a new pack of strings for some therapy.
Yeah, okay, that's the way to go.
Count me in.
honestly, I'll just throw it. I mean, it's just like, it's an innate love for something. I mean, I love being behind a kit, and I love jamming with these dudes. I mean, it's just
I love jamming, but these dudes especially, it is magic, dude.
yeah, dude. I mean,
Love
it's when you play a show. I mean, regardless if there's 5, 10, 20, 50 people, doesn't matter, man. I mean, when you're on a stage with who you really care about, and you're making music that you truly do love and have passion for, that's worth living for, dude.
For sure.
Come down to the basement, you see the same show, you see it crafted by
Also true.
Yeah.
No, that's
the layer.
That's badass. I think some things I think people don't realize is like when someone's up on stage playing, you are literally like seeing a like what the expression of that person is. Like you're seeing it shown to the world, and I think that's like super amazing when someone's soloing on a guitar, doing a drum fill, having a bass fill. That's literally like
It's the sound of the soul, man.
Yeah, literally what they're thinking is like physical at that point.
Honestly, for me, that's a side of me I can't really relate to in a normalcy of my life outside of music. When I'm on a kit, I'm most comfortable on a kit. That's where I can explore and really let out the energy I have. Whereas like everyday life, it's just dad, just chill,
Right.
But yeah, it's a good outlet,
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
for sure.
And so, I guess, kind of wrapping things up, this weekend, June 22nd, EP dropping. What do you want the world to know about the work that was put behind this EP? What if you could tell anyone anything? What could it be? Like, what is it? How much work was put behind it? What was the thinking behind it?
Oh my God, it's a culmination of years. There's super old songs. There's brand new songs, and the two versions of the music that we make are brought together on this album by 3 people who hadn't played together previously, and then 2 years ago we got together and started doing this, and now we're gonna bring the best versions of the old and the new that I could have ever imagined.
For sure.
That's what I'm excited about.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That
actually
impressed me. I asked that question. I'm like, I hope this sounds good. And that was genuinely amazing.
Well, I have been drinking Truth.
the truth comes out now. So, what are your guys' goals for the rest of this year and 2020 as a band? Like, what are your guys' goals?
I mean, honestly, dude, I mean, for us, I mean, well, I guess speaking on my behalf, and I guess
You can speak for me. Go for it.
I'll speak for. Okay. I mean,
Go for it, man. Let it out.
To me, this is it. Like, this is, if I've ever had a thought and wanting to do something with music, this is the opportunity. This is now. And,
For sure.
I have full support from my wife and my family. And, like, I mean, it feels right,
Yeah, and
It
that in
feels
itself is like
right.
the best thing that can happen, just having support from everyone around you.
Right.
Because it's a totally different game when you
Right.
don't have that support. You just feel like-
Absolutely.
And I will say, like, with the EP release, us doing it here at Craft and Vinyl, what Troy and David have allowed us to do is be able to create an environment for us and our fans that, for us will always cherish, because, not too many venues really just let you come in and do a show. They're like very political.
Yeah.
If I haven't heard of you, I don't really want you in our venue. Or it's like pulling teeth to try and get there. It was not the case for us to get here. And like since the first show we had here, these dudes have been open arms and fully supportive of what we do and wanting to come back here and play shows continuously.
Yeah.
So why not have our EP release here,
Yeah,
So,
no, I mean, couldn't have
Yeah.
picked a better place. Like,
Yep.
this is only my second time being here, but it's like the first time I came in, I fell in love with the environment in here. I'm like, this
Dude,
is
it's,
just like-
Absolutely.
it's totally dope.
Absolutely.
Totally
My
dope.
favorite places to be on the planet are home, and then it's like split between Craft and Vinyl and John's house. Those are the places where I feel the most comfortable.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Now, Zach, you got anything else to say?
Yes, I do. I have one more thing. So run me through, what is the worst experience you guys have ever had while out
Oh, this is a good one.
performing?
Let's hear it.
Are we going Fourth Friday?
Fourth Friday was.
I mean, police were called before we even played a note.
Yeah, we were threatened with the police during sound check.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was a little bit rough. It was great to be there. There's a lot of exposure. We saw a lot of people who really dug it, but I feel like the ratio between people who really dug it and people who were there for a completely different reason and were upset that we were noisy.
Okay,
Yes.
so that was...
Yeah.
They'd
A
also
lot of
pointed
vendors had issues with us.
They pointed us right at the church.
Yeah.
That's not.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just...
That's not. Did you listen to the album?
Yeah, you're just like...
Yeah, that's not our demographic
Yeah.
for sure.
So I mean, so far it's been pretty decent as far as like no bad happenings.
Yeah.
So
That's
If
like the
I'm
best
playing,
thing
man,
you could
it's-
ask for.
Yeah.
It's fun regardless, whether we're sweating balls at the Columbus parade or
Oh my
dude,
God.
freezing at the tree
Yeah.
bar when there's
Yeah,
no
they got-
heat in
yeah.
the middle of winter, dude. I'm glad.
damn.
We did real quick. We did a 4th of July parade. So the neighborhood that I live in, we have a civic association, and they wanted us to be a part of their 4th of July parade. So we had a flatbed trailer. We set all our band equipment on, had PA system, all that sort of jazz. And dude, it was probably the hottest day of the summer.
Oh, man.
I think like on record,
Probably
it
was.
was
Yeah,
the
the
hottest
hottest
day
day.
Oh,
of
God,
that
so you guys
summer.
are up there sweating your
And
balls
dude,
off.
well, not only am I sweating balls off, like I'm to the back of the trailer where the truck is, where the fucking generator's just going full blast. I'm getting carbon monoxide poisoning. Like I'm sweating my balls off. Am I dying? What's going on here?
If that
dude?
parade had been any longer, we would have lost him.
I would have died.
The children
dude,
are out in the
for the
street,
music.
sweaty, handing out
Passing
oatmeal
out
cream pies.
oatmeal cream pies for sure. That'll be.
I got a maintenance emergency call the instant the parade started moving.
Well, you gonna have to wait.
I will be there in
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, man. So that's the gist of that, man.
Well, we love hearing it. I just want to say thanks again, guys, for being so kind. Now, I just want to say one thing, too. John here on your guys' social media hit us up. When was it? It had to been like a month ago or something. Like kind of when we first were starting everything. And we just want to say, like, genuinely thank you. We're trying to we're trying to support music and art in our city,
Most
build a
definitely.
community, and stuff like this is how you start. And we seriously thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for doing this.
Yes.
it means a lot
my
to
God.
us.
Totally
Likewise,
reciprocated, man.
likewise, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.